What's up, y'all? It's Sports here with my 2023 Louisville Cardinals season predictions. Let's get into it. We're going to do just a little bit of an off-season review real quick before we get into the schedule. Last year, Louisville went 8-5 with a bowl loss to Cincinnati. This year, the sports books are thinking Louisville's going to win 8 games. That's the over-under for the win total. Lots of players return on this offense and defense. Total of 13, 6 on offense, 7 on defense. Good returning production. Relatively young team, but lots of good returning players. 3 Louisville Cardinals were drafted, including starting quarterback Malik Cunningham. The recruiting class was shockingly good. I am very surprised. This is Jeff Brom's first year here at Louisville. He played here at Louisville, I believe, and coached at Purdue. This will be his first year at Louisville, and he brought in a lot of great talent through the portal and as true freshman from high school. Brought in the 24th ranked class and the 12th ranked transfer portal. There were 7 4-stars that are going to be freshmen and 9 3-stars. 2 of those players are I don't need Judah. Yeah, I messed it up. What are you gonna do? Mr. Green here. He is from Georgia and plays defensive edge rusher. He's 6'5", 206, and the 159th best player in the country, top 15 player from Georgia, and the 21st best edge rusher in the country. JT Caspers is another pretty good player coming in from this recruiting class. He is from Miami, plays linebacker, and is a top 20 linebacker in this class as a 4-star. Transfer portal was a really big source of players and production coming in this year. Threw up 4 guys on the slide. It's a slideshow. Threw 4 guys up there. I'm gonna talk about them. 3 of those players are 4-stars. 4 4-stars were brought in, and then there are 20 other 3-stars that were also brought in this transfer class. Marcus Washington is a 4-star cornerback from Georgia. I don't think he's going to start, but he's good depth. Jamari Thrash is a 4-star receiver from Georgia State. He is going to start, I believe. He is 6 foot, 180, pretty good player. I think he was a 1,000-yard receiver at Georgia State last year. Next, we have Marquise Groves Kilbrew. He plays cornerback, transferring in from Texas A&M. He was part of the number 1 recruiting class in the country as a 4-star. Also transferring as a 4-star to the Cardinals. Jack Plummer, he is a starter right now. They brought in a 4-star transfer quarterback, but I believe Jack Plummer should get the start. Plummer is a fifth or 6th year player. He played at Purdue. He was on the Purdue roster with Jeff Brom. Then he transferred to Cal for 1 year, his last year, and he is coming into Louisville this year with Jeff Brom as his head coach. The two know each other, so I believe Jack Plummer should get the start. Starting quarterback. It's a big deal. My personal ratings for this team, I'm giving the offense an 8, maybe a 7.5 actually. It should be much more pass-based, less running, maybe more running and less passing. I think I said that wrong. I don't know, it's somewhere. Should be a much improved offense. Definitely not as one-sided. And the defense should be good as well. Not bad. Above average, though. Anyway, here's the schedule. Here is the schedule. Schedule difficulty, it's a B minus. It probably could be a C plus, but I gave it a B minus. I'm being a little bit generous. We start out the season against Georgia Tech, then Murray State, Indiana, Boston College, NC State, Notre Dame, and Pitt in the midseason. Then we have Duke, the Virginia schools, Miami, and Kentucky to wrap up the season. Starting out in week 1, this game against Georgia Tech is the Chick-fil-A kickoff, and it is being played in Atlanta. I think this is the second year in a row that Georgia Tech is in the Chick-fil-A kickoff. It might be a permanent thing, maybe. It doesn't feel like a permanent thing, but it could be, because the game's in Atlanta. I feel like they were there last year with Clemson. I don't know. I need to look it up. Neutral site game. It's pretty much a home game for Georgia Tech, same city, but Georgia Tech, is probably going to be one of the worst teams in the ACC. So I definitely see Louisville getting that first win. I could see it being a little bit closer because Georgia Tech will have more fans there, probably because it's practically a home game. I don't see Georgia Tech putting up much of a fight though, and Louisville should get a pretty clean win in that game. Week 2, Murray State, FCS, not even in the same division. FBS, FCS, very different. Fewer scholarships, I think, in FCS. Totally different teams. Louisville should thrash Murray State. That's that. Next up, we have Indiana. Now, this is another neutral site game. It's being played in Indianapolis, I believe at Lucas Oil. It's where the Colts play. Pretty much a home game for Indiana. They travel from Bloomington to Indianapolis. Indiana will probably be one of the worst teams, the worst or the second worst team in the Big Ten. So that is going to put them in the big win category for me. Indiana is just bad in general, and I think Louisville should beat them pretty good. Another neutral site game. I don't think Indiana's too far from Louisville, or in Indianapolis, too far from Louisville. But Louisville should get that win and start out 3-0 with no true road games yet. Game 4 is against Boston College, one of the worst teams in the ACC, along with Georgia Tech. That should be another sort of close-ish win. Shouldn't be a super blowout, but it shouldn't be really close. Louisville should totally win that game against one of the worst teams in the conference. Start out 4-0. That's a pretty good start. They could be getting votes in the AP poll. I wouldn't be surprised, although this isn't fantastic competition. I think this next game against NC State will be a season decider. North Carolina State is going to be pretty decent, I believe. Could be about as good as Louisville. On the road, though, I think NC State probably wins, but I definitely could see Louisville with a lot of momentum going into this game and pulling off an upset against the Wolfpack. So the game's going into my toss-up category. I could see either side winning. Yeah. Notre Dame is the next team on this schedule. Pretty strong out-of-conference schedule, actually, by Louisville. Notre Dame, Indiana, and Kentucky, all Power 5. Notre Dame isn't in a conference, but we all know they would be a Power 5 program. Notre Dame is going to be pretty fine, decent. It is in Louisville. That does give Louisville an advantage. Although I think Notre Dame should get this win, probably relatively. Notre Dame should probably win by like 14 points. I don't think Louisville's going to win, as I said. Next, we have Pitt. Pitt, this is a road game, and Pittsburgh is coming off of their bye week, making it more difficult as Pitt's players will be rested and have home field advantage. Pitt is kind of a sneaky team in the ACC. They won 9 games last year, and no one's really talking about them. And I think they have might be a transfer quarterback. I'm not sure. Um, I hate talking about quarterbacks like they're the only player on the team. This is a team game, not a quarterback game. Um, Big difference maker though. Pitt flying under the radar on the road and off a bye week. I think the Panthers should get this game done. Get it done in this game against the Cardinals. Next week we have the Duke Blue Devils. This is also kind of an important game. I could see both teams winning this game. It is a toss-up, a home game for Louisville, but this is important for Duke to probably get to their 7 or 8 wins. Also for Louisville, um, this is probably a bowl game type of, well, they're playing for a better bowl game at this point in the season. I think it's a conference game. I'm rambling. This should be a toss-up. I could see both teams winning. Duke is going to have a very good offense with one of the top quarterbacks in the ACC and a lot of talent around him. But Louisville does have Jack Plummer. They return a pretty good offense, and they should win. I think I would favor Louisville in this game. Sort of difficult. I'd love to see it play out. Probably on the ACC network plus, but it will probably be a good game, and probably be a very deciding game in the standings by the end of the year. Next up, we have the 2 Virginia schools, both some of the worst teams in the ACC. Virginia Tech, probably going to be a close win. Maybe not super close, but it should be a close-ish win for the Louisville Cardinals. Same thing next week versus the UVA Cavaliers. I think the Cardinals should get it done in these back-to-back games at home against the Virginia schools. Second to last week of the season, playing on the road against Miami after probably a 2-game winning streak, maybe 3. Playing at Miami, this could be a tricky game. On the road at Miami doesn't really mean anything. There's like no home field advantage. There's no crowd or anything there. Yeah. I could see this being a toss-up. If Miami really needs the win, I could really see them fighting for it, for either bowl eligibility or a 9 or 10 win season. I'll get to their preview eventually. But I could see Louisville just being the better team in this game with all of their transfers and all their talent. I could see them going down south and beating the Hurricanes. Finally, week 12 or 13, whatever it is, game 12, against Kentucky. Kentucky currently holds a 4-game winning streak over the Cardinals. They've played for the past long time, but Kentucky is holding the current winning streak, and they are the SEC team. Pretty much by default, they are better. Sorry, Louisville fans. Probably just got like 12 dislikes. But whatever, I think Kentucky is probably the better team, not only on paper, but on the field, at least at this point in the season. And I'm going to say this is going to be a close loss for the Cardinals. Sadly, I think, yeah. So my projected record, I'll run through it. We get 2 big wins versus Murray State and Indiana. Then wins against Georgia Tech, Boston College, Virginia Tech, and UVA. Those are also the 4 worst teams in the conference. Insanely good draw for their schedule. They do not play Clemson. They do not play Florida State. They do not play North Carolina. The best team they play in the conference is either NC State or Pitt. This is a crazy good conference draw. They should be 6-0 in these top 6 games. Then I think they win at least one of these 3 games, and I could see them pulling off an upset in one of these games. Maybe they either pull off a very close, big upset, big as in important, they pull off an upset in one of these 3 games, or they win 2 of the 3 games in the toss-up category, to get them to 8-4. I could see 7-5, but I'm pulling for Louisville this season. 8-4 is what I like on paper. Another back-to-back 8-win season is hopefully what the Cardinals get. There you have it. If Jeff Brom, I don't know how to say his name. I suck at names. If he shows up and gets 8 wins, I think he's in a very good position at coach. Let me know in the comments if you are a Louisville fan. Do you like this hire? Do you like how the transfer class has worked out? Let me know. Insanely lucky schedule pull. And that will set them up for a good season. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, peace.